All right, welcome everybody. Hope everybody's staying safe and healthy. My name is Jeff Ratz. I'm the Senior Web Services Technician for RE/MAX of Western Canada here at the head office for RE/MAX in Kelowna, BC. Thank you everybody for signing in for our Mobilizing Communications for a Real Estate Business webinar. Today we have two special guest presenters from RingCentral. We have Garrett Matthews, the Senior Partnership Manager, and Rob Davis, the Solutions Engineer, and they'll be telling us about the RingCentral platform, and we'll be demoing the service that they offer. Please feel free to enter any questions that you might have throughout the webinar in either the Q&A box or the chat box from within Zoom. Garrett and Rob will be responding to questions through chat through the session, and we'll also be able to answer some questions at the end of the webinar as well. So without further ado, I'll now pass it over to Garrett and Rob. Hey guys, how are you today?
Good, Jeff. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Thanks for signing in today, guys.
Yeah, no, thanks for setting this up and having us join. Really appreciate it, Jeff.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Very good. Well, hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for, first and foremost, for carving out the time. Well, Jeff, thanks for the introductions, and thank you for everyone who's joining and carving out the time and spending away from your business. We know you're busy and have a lot going on, so we certainly appreciate you investing the time with us here today. Really, we're going to be talking about RingCentral, but more importantly, we want to talk about mobilizing communications for your real estate business, right? And you are in a business that has certainly, as everybody across the world right now, has been impacted by COVID, but certainly within the real estate space, given the fact that it's a face-to-face relationship business, you guys have had to adapt, right? All the way from those of you who are running real estate brokerages, broker owners, to team leaders, to agents, across a full spectrum. It's required you to really pivot and adjust to meet those client needs and do what you do best, which is help support people get into the home they love and selling real estate, obviously. So we want to spend some time really diving into that and how it applies to your business and in your world. So with that, just a brief agenda to cover here. So essentially, we're going to go over RingCentral at a very high level. And then Rob is really the main star of the show here, and he'll join us here in about 7 to 10 minutes or so. And he'll really dive into the platform just to give you guys an idea in terms of RingCentral and our solution and how it really caters to the real estate space and so forth. And then, of course, as Jeff mentioned, we'll have some Q&A. Feel free to enter those in the chat, and we'll make sure to leave some time to get those answered along our journey, or at the end there, rather, with those as they come in. So with that, in today's environment, I think you're all experiencing this and know that this is the case, that communication, when it comes to communication, it's absolutely imperative and critical to have a communication platform that supports you engaging with your clients, with your agents, and so forth, from any device, any mode, and anywhere. You all are very much on the go. You're constantly out there in the field, working with buyers and sellers, meeting with home inspectors, going to the title company for a closing, etc. And your communication platform really should be with you along your journey in your business. Now, in today's COVID landscape, more than ever before, most certainly. So RingCentral as a company is really a unified communication service, a platform. And when it comes to communications, that's our core competency. We touch just about every area when it comes to communications for enterprise companies, medium businesses, small businesses, individuals, agents, brokerage owners, and that sort of thing. We do, really the goal is to create that seamless experience of communications for businesses of all sizes. We power about 400,000 businesses with our platform. We're the #1 global provider for unified communications. Our core product, and really what we're going to be spending time on today, is really what we call the big three, or our trident. And that is really messaging, video, and phone, which really covers just about all areas of communication when it comes to all of you in the real estate space. The unique thing, and really our competitive advantage within the market, is that we offer this on one single platform and not a disparate system, but unifying all those communications on one system. So really, again, the big three: messaging, video, phone. And if you look at and think about your business within real estate, again, as if you're a broker owner, an agent, team leader, these are really the big three that you engage with. When you look at certainly video, I mean, obviously we're on Zoom right now, and Zoom is one of our partners. We also have our own platform as well, RingCentral Video. But we'd like to offer choice for our members. We certainly have a strong, long-standing partnership with Zoom as well. but video in today's environment has become much more necessary, and we're all engaging through video in our business, and it's become a necessary component of how you conduct yourself within real estate. When you look at messaging, it's a tool that really I'm sure many of you are engaging with text with your clients in some form or fashion. Really depends on the generation and how they like to engage. And of course, phone. And if you think about unifying all three of these on one single platform, not having to dive around to different areas to engage in these three, that's really the world that we have created and continue to innovate and live in to support, again, businesses and so forth. So if you look at the way different generations communicate, and I think you all are very in tune with this or experience this in your business, but the way a baby boomer wants to communicate and engage with their agent and so forth is very different than, say, a millennial. And if you look at these areas, it's really interesting to consider the ways that these different generations, again, want to communicate. For example, the baby boomers are very much an in-person, face-to-face, nose-to-nose, belly-to-belly kind of generation. They value in-person, interpersonal connection. Whereas millennials and so forth and Gen X's are a little bit more okay with just more of a virtual text messaging, video type thing, phone, and so forth. The reason this is important is I think it's important to consider having several different vehicles of communication to offer up to your clients or your agents, if you're a broker owner, in your business. You want to be able to really offer those up for them to engage in the preferred communication method that they're most comfortable with and they prefer. And that's really at the core of what Ring Central does, is offer that for you, essentially, in your business, to have that as a unified solution and offer up the messaging component, video, and phone, of course. So with that, when we look at unified communication for real estate brokerages, I think it's important to take just a moment here and look at what's important, what's critical, again, for all of you in your business. And as we look at here, mobilizing, managing, and staying connected from everywhere, right? Not being confined to being in the office, within your desk or your office there and so forth. You're on the go. And now more than ever, you're all certainly no different from all the companies that across the globe, where we're all in this giant work from home experiment. You're no different, right? You're managing your business from home, from the office, potentially out and about, working with clients, etc. Coffee shop, if you will. But you've got to have something that keeps you connected across all platforms, and not just relying on being in the office and so forth. For those of you running brokerages, you broker owners, set up your staff for success, right? Being able to adjust and pivot to, again, in this COVID landscape, being able to go, okay, we got to go remote. And we need to have a system that can still support our business so it's seamless and comes off without a hitch. We can continue to support our agents, our brokerage, and ultimately to serve our clients and so forth. And you got to have a system that supports that. Stay in constant contact with your agents and teams. Right now, more than ever, very important to keep the open lines of communication to really stay connected when we can't be face-to-face. We can't be many times in the office and just right around the corner you can connect and talk to somebody there in person. We're all having to adjust and live in this new world, but it's very important to stay connected with your people in the brokerage, and enabling the brokerage and agents to maintain those client relationships. Very important as well, to replace those mediums and make sure that the client relationships are intact, both existing clients that they're working with now, but also future, and there's sort of the book of business and their past clients as well. So diving in a little bit, and Rob's going to get a little bit more into these tools a little bit more in depth, but just high level, the messaging component, right? So you're all probably familiar or have heard about like Microsoft Teams or maybe Slack. So our equivalent to that is Glip, and it's within our Ring Central unified app. And essentially this tool is basically a team messaging collaboration tool, supports file sharing. And if you think about this in your business and how this could be used, really a lot of different options and ways, right? Again, many of you are probably using text communication with your clients, but think about if you could bring the buyer seller, husband, wife, spouse, whatever it is, into the transaction along with the home inspector and the lender, the title company, and whoever else you would want to set up a team for, to have some team messaging and chat where you could not only message and so forth, but you could share files. You can, share a home inspection report and, collaborate on that together and share comments back and forth. And you can share a Excel file and so forth. And ultimately leading to more efficient and process through the transaction. You can, for those of you who are run the brokerage and in that managing the office and that sort of thing, set up a team messaging with your agents, right? A great way to engage and stay connected through a messaging platform there. The cool thing with this is we have integrations with all the major companies out there. We have over 2,000 integrations. So if you're obviously using Microsoft or DocuSign and things like that, we integrate with all those major companies. You can integrate your calendar right in here as well. So it really helps support, again, staying connected, staying mobilized, and connecting with your agents and clients across the business. And video. So I mentioned this earlier, but video has become almost a requirement for business in today's day and age. And with our RingCentral video solution, we have just that for one-on-one meetings, group meetings of size and scale. And then again, we mentioned that also have a partnership with Zoom that's been long-standing. It continues. We like that because we like to have choice, for our business clients and that sort of thing, and customers. So when it comes to anything and everything video, we've got it covered, from large meetings, webinars, even RingCentral rooms for outfitting and equipping your conference rooms to support a conference type experience with a video solution there that's extremely intuitive and able to support, again, meeting and staying mobile across the organization. And lastly, the phone solution. So really a cloud-based phone solution which really offers all of the things that a traditional PBX system, but it's fully mobile, fully cloud-based, available on any device, any mode, anywhere. With our solution, you have a desktop app, you have a mobile app to manage your phone through that. It's got full custom smart routing, able to set up your IVR, self-service, highly secure, reliable, and again, available on any device, anywhere. In terms of integrations, mentioned this a little bit earlier, but for all of you within the real estate space, so just, we integrate with, again, all the major companies out there. You can kind of see some of them on the screen here, but obviously DocuSign is a big tool that many of you use on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day. So think about having an integration in there with DocuSign, which is super powerful, and again, creates that unified experience, supporting more efficiency for all of you in the business. Microsoft, Google, all the major ones, we have integrations for. What's cool is about our open system, we are constantly looking to build on and add integrations within our platform. And with that said, I want to turn over to Rob now to dive into looking a little bit more into the under the hood a little bit. So Rob, I'll have you take it away. I'll stop sharing my screen and let you take over.
Great, thanks, Garrett. Well, thanks everyone who's taken the time to join us today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to go through really quick. I'm going to show you tools. What we're looking at right here is our admin interface, and odds are the vast majority of you will not be necessarily using this, but it is a very simple, intuitive interface to be able to manage the phone system, phone numbers, auto receptionists, any call queues, users, and all of our analytics as well. So very simple, easy to access from anywhere, being cloud-based, including even the mobile app for your phone system admins. So a really nice tool to have. All right, now Garrett talked about choice, right? We have different people who want to communicate different ways. We have 3 pieces of software, 2 for your desktop, 1 for the mobile app. For making, doing communications via software, we do, of course, offer phones, right? So those guys, they just need to have a handset in their hand to make and take phone calls. That's available to you, from fancy 16-line touchscreen phones down to very basic, 6-line phones or even just simple single, 2-line phones. So it makes it very easy to use our system even with physical phones. Okay. Now, the first piece that I'll show you, and Garrett touched on this briefly, is our unified app. So this will be running on your desktop computer, Windows or Mac. This is that MVP solution: message, video, and phone. So in our messaging, as Garrett mentioned, similar to your Teams and your Slack, included for every user, we offer unlimited file size for sharing, unlimited storage, and file encryption. Obviously, sharing documents within a real estate transaction may have some PII involved with it, so security numbers, things of that nature. We don't want to be sending that via email. Right? Well, we're able to send that via this application without any problems regarding security. Right? So encrypted in transit and at rest. And being unlimited, it gives us the ability to have conversations that can go back years. This conversation with Jim here, Jim was my manager when I first started at RingCentral. So this conversation goes back 3 years. I can search anything I want in this conversation with Jim. Let's say I want to look up something regarding Polycom phones. My search history is still here, so we'll look at this one. Here's Polycom in this conversation. And here's everything Jim and I have talked about regarding Polycom phones all the way back to June of 2017. And if I want to hop into that, go back to that and get specific information like this particular file, just click on View in Conversation, and it takes me right there. And I can pop on this and bring up that app and bring up that document so I can view it. I print it if I'd like. So it makes it very simple. All right. We can have teams. As you see, we do eat our own dog food here at RingCentral, so we have lots and lots of teams. Pretty much unlimited as far as size goes. You can have a team that would cover your entire organization. I can have teams that are, maybe I've got a group of folks, a lead agent, and they've got some folks that work with that person. I can create a team for that group. I could also create teams for particular properties. For example, we're going to market on a specific property. I can create that team, give it the name of that property, for example. Right? Come here, click team, give it the name of that property, 123 Oak Street. Right? Put the numbers in there, the team description. We can make it a private team or a public team. Won't allow people to join in, and then set some parameters on that team. Okay. Now, I can also invite outside people to that team. Maybe I want to also include the homeowner, right? So they can be involved in that conversation for marketing purposes, sending pictures, things of that nature. So when I add that person in, I just type in their email address, right? So my team members and the email address of my homeowner, they will get a link from RingCentral to sign up. And all they need is a name and a password. Takes maybe 30 seconds to get signed up. They'll be brought into a web app that looks just like our client, and then they can download and install that client if they'd like. So now they can be a part of that conversation. It's all secure, right? And we're not bouncing emails back and forth. And just one conversation that we can search. Okay. Now we also have our video, RingCentral video. We also do, as we mentioned, the Zoom. We have white label Zoom. So if you prefer Zoom, which is what we're using today for the webinar, you can do that as well. I can tie this into my calendar and click here to join in. Of course, this is for our webinars, but my RingCentral videos here, I can click here to join those and quickly be added into that meeting. All right. And then our phone. Now I've got my call log here. I can see all of my calls. I've got my dial pad up here at the top, where I also have the ability to set my caller ID. So if I want to call from the main number of the office or my direct dial number, I can do that. Every user will have their own direct dial phone number. So if they want to have that phone number printed up on signs, business cards, whatever, they would then have that capability to then receive calls directly. But not just calls, but also faxes and text messages to that one phone number. And all of your calling, texting, and faxing in Canada and the United States is included. So there's no long distance or per minute charges. Okay. We have access to our voicemail. That's also going to include voicemail to text transcription. Okay. We can have those voicemails sent to your email, of course, but if I can access them here through my app and also on the mobile app, I don't really need to have those sent to my email because most of us all get plenty of email every day as it is. And then I have my access to my faxes. So if somebody sends me a fax, click right here on view, and I have that fax. I can print it out. Okay. And then our text messaging, of course, so just a standard SMS and MMS. We can send emojis, send pictures. If I want to pop pictures in, just fax, text those out to a potential client. I can do that here. All right, and then we have our contacts, of course, personal contacts, our corporate directory, my own personal teams, whatever we have there, all that's available. My company contacts here. Okay. Now we also have, of course, the mobile version of this application. So I have the capability to do this messaging. Oh, this will look a little different. This is my demo account, but I have my messaging here. In this instance, this is my corporate account talking to my demo account. So I even see my presence, even though I'm not in the same organization. So I can tell that I'm in a meeting right now. I click on there, and I again have that ability to click on those messages here, and we text back and forth. I've sent attachments. Okay. And then we also have, of course, our video. So I can run those RingCentral meetings from my mobile device. So maybe I need to do a virtual tour with a client. I have the ability to start that meeting from my mobile app. My customers joining me from across the country. They're relocating. They're living in Toronto and they want to move to Vancouver. I want to show them a house and not just pictures. I can give them a walkthrough of the house live from that mobile device. All right. And then, of course, our phone. So with our phone, we're now making phone calls from our mobile device, but I'm calling from my business phone number. And again, that could be my direct dial phone number or my main company number. Or maybe we have different offices within a particular brokerage. I can call from one of those different offices. Okay. Again, access to my voicemail and my text messages. That voicemail, by the way, that will also have that voice-to-text transcription. My text messaging, again, including that MMS, right? I'll be able to look and see pictures. Sorry, my phone's clicking's a little delayed here, but I can send pictures. And of course, my faxes. I even have the ability to send a fax from my mobile device. So not just receive it, but also send it. So if I get a document that I need to sign and send back, I'm working from home. I don't own a scanner. How do I get that call or get that fax back to this person I need to send a signed document back to? Well, I simply create a new fax, and I'm going to attach that document and just take a picture of it using the camera on my phone. Okay. Now, when we get phone calls on our phone, oh, I'm sorry, let me cover one more piece. Our standalone soft phone. This phone is going to be more of your power user's phone. Think the receptionist at your main office. They're going to have lots of people they're going to need to transfer calls to. Now, we can always provide them with a physical phone that has a sidecar. Right? If you want to have a big phone on your desk, you can do that. But we also have in this soft phone a heads-up display that can be undocked. And this will support up to 100 lines of presence. So I can have all of my employees and agents, if they're part of the system, in this heads-up display, allowing me to see their current status, their availability, and quickly transfer calls to them. The functionality is phone specific. So this is going to be phone calls, faxes, and text messages. We're not running meetings. We're doing instant messaging from here, just phone specific. But it still gives me the ability to access my messages, my voicemail, my faxes, my text messages. I can have my favorites, my speed dials, integration with my calendar, my call log, my contacts, ability to simply click and call. That heads-up display, and of course our dial pad, where I can also set caller ID, and my status. So easily pop in here and change my status from available to busy to do not disturb. Create a new text message, start a conference call, compose a fax. If I wanted to launch that unified client from here, I can do that as well. But it makes it very simple for a receptionist to make call transfers. So if we receive a call, I can come here and answer that call. And then if I need to transfer that call over to Michael, for example, we can simply click transfer. And I can warm transfer. We call Michael first to see if he can take that call. I could do a blind transfer and just send Natalie straight over. Or if I know by the status here that Lewis or that Michael is busy or out of the office, I can simply send her straight to voicemail. Also have the ability to do simple conference calls. We could do this from our unified client as well. I can add Michael to this call. That simply calls Michael, he answers, and we add him to the call. Now on the soft phone, you can do a 7-way call. On a desk phone, you can only do 3. And if you needed to go beyond that, I can simply transfer this call over to my conference bridge where I have the ability to support up to 1,000 participants, where no one has to dial a code. We just move them over there, and I can continue to add people into that call as well, internal or external, or just send out the bridge information where people can dial in. Okay. When we're done there with Michael, we just click on him to hang him up. Right. So Michael's gone. Now, let's say Natalie and I are continuing our conversation. You'll notice on my mobile app there, the black bar keeps popping up and down depending on where I'm at on my call. I need to run. I've got a showing I need to get to, but I'll be driving a little while, so I could just take Natalie with me. I ask Natalie to hang on a second. I grab my mobile app. I touch this black bar, and I hit switch. The call is now on my mobile app, and I'm out the door. Now, because we pulled this call to the mobile app, there was no hold music. So Natalie doesn't even know I switched phones. We just continue on our conversation. The call will transfer over to our 3G or LTE signal, right? And we continue on our way. Now I realize in Canada, your data rates are a little bit different up there, so you pay a little bit more. So maybe if this call is going to go a little long, I might want to take this call over to my cell carrier. So I click on more, hit switch to carrier. That'll place Natalie on hold. The system calls my cell phone, and when I answer that call, the 2 calls get bridged together and we continue on our call. But I'm no longer using data, I'm using just my standard cellular minutes. Okay. Now, once we have that call here on our mobile app, I still have the ability to transfer that call. So maybe I take the call in the field, I need to transfer it to an assistant, I can transfer that call. I could flip this call. Maybe I took the call on my way to the office and I have a desk phone, I could flip this call over to my desk phone. That does place the caller on hold. There is hold music in that instance because it is a transfer. So it would be obviously quite brief. All right. And we also have the ability to record phone calls if we need to, or maybe I want to park that call. That places that call on hold would allow it to be picked up by somebody else at a different phone. I can park that call. We'll select the company park in this case. And I say, we'll not page that out in this instance, but now I can see over here that that call has now been parked. I can pick that call up here on my soft phone or on a physical desk phone if that line of presence for that park location is programmed there. All right. So that covers our software applications for our end users. We'd be happy to take any questions that you may have. You can type those into our Q&A or into our chat. Oh, apparently you've lost my sound.
I'm still able to hear you, Rob.
Okay, so Garrett lost my sound.
Yeah, just lost
So we're okay. So if there are any questions, you're welcome to pop those into either the chat or into our Q&A, and we can answer those there for you.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions coming in so far. Anybody has any questions? Feel free to definitely put them into the Q&A box, or we can answer them through the chat box as well. So it seems like a very, very powerful platform. It's pretty amazing how you can transfer calls back and forth between the RingCentral app and your even definitely through your carrier as well. That's a very cool feature.
It really is, and obviously in the state of our world today, the software allows us to work from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can have my mobile app obviously wherever I am, but I could be working from home and using our unified client. I can do all of my instant messaging, I can make my phone calls, I can fax, I can do all of that, and it just doesn't matter where I am. Mm-hmm. Even our physical phones are location agnostic, so if I have the ability to plug a phone into a Ethernet cable, I can have my physical phone at my house, mm-hmm. which in my case I do.
Yeah, and really you can take your phone anywhere. You can travel to the other side of the world, and as long as you have an internet connection, you have your phone essentially, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very cool, very cool. All right, well, yeah, I'm not seeing any questions coming in so far, so I guess we'll just kind of close it off for the day. Thank you so much, Garrett and Rob, for taking the time today to talk to us about RingCentral. Big thank you to everybody who attended the webinar as well. We hope you're able to take something away from this session, and I'm sure that Garrett and his team and Rob, of course, would be definitely willing to answer any questions, and I'm sure they'd love to hear from you as well. So hope to see everybody again at an upcoming webinar Wednesday session, and thank you, everybody. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you, Jeff.